When you're uncommon, get ready for the criticism. When you're uncommon, get ready for the opposition. When you're uncommon, get ready for the common people not to understand you. When you're uncommon, have uncommon ways. Get ready for people to try and block you and conspire against you.
Never allow anybody to make you feel bad about being so blessed when you've worked your off to get it. You decided all the clubs, partying, hanging out, and all that that ain't for me. I'm gonna be out here running in the hot sun, practicing, playing basketball, shooting on weekends while everybody else is clubbing and hanging out. You got your focus right. You see me in my Rolls Royce, private planes, rooftop hotel, 5-6-star lifestyle. I've worked my off to have it, and you can keep all your little slick comments to yourself. Just guess what? I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater.
Shut the noise out. Embrace the fact that people don't like you. It means you're doing something right.
Develop the interior core where it doesn't matter if people call you crazy. One of the things limiting you from your income, your impact, a world-class life. You care too much about what people think about you. Everyone has an opinion. Why let the opinions of other people deny you from a life that will make history?
Don't expect people to understand you. Don't expect it to make sense to anybody why you've got to do this, why you have got to go, why you leave. This is a good job. I'm going. They pay you well. I'm going. Why? I don't understand. You don't have to. I'm going for me because I've made a different kind of commitment with my life. This is something I have got to do. You got to focus on you. You got to convince yourself every day, selling yourself on your ability to perform a job, to achieve a certain objective, telling yourself every day, here I go again, and I got what it takes. This is my day, and nothing out here is going to stop me. Don't allow that inner doubt in you to talk you out of it, to build a case on why you can't have it, to tell you why you're not good enough. You ignore that inner voice and all of the external voices. Don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. Don't determine what you're able to do based upon your resources. Don't determine what's possible for you based upon where your life is right now. Where your life is right now is not you. That's just what it is right now. If you're coming back from adversity and devastation, it's unlimited of what you can do. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. It's a result of how you have decided to use your power. And you've got the power to change that. But you don't know what has happened to me. It really doesn't matter what has happened to you. The only thing that really matters is what are you going to do about it? I can become upset, nervous, weak about it, or I can say it's okay. If it becomes hard, then do it hard. But many of us just stop dead in our tracks. I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You got genius in you. Challenge yourself, push yourself, make yourself come up with something. See, the universe responds to the man or woman that refuses to be denied, because that is your commitment, that business that you want, that dream that you have of controlling your destiny. That is yours. That's available to you. But you've got to be willing to stand there and face disappointment, not have support, feel lonely, doubt yourself sometimes, be rejected again and again and again, and refuse to turn around until life gives it up. Nothing can resist a person that has that kind of commitment.
You gotta make a different decision. You gotta decide enough is enough. You've had enough of being average and ordinary. You're tired of being mediocre. You're now gonna push yourself.
It's gonna feel better when it's over. You know that when you get done doing the hard thing, it's gonna feel better. Waking up, working out, taking care of some tedious task. You know you will feel better when it is done. You also know that if you don't do the hard thing, the thing that you don't want to do, that you don't feel like doing, you know if you don't do it, you're going to feel inferior. You know you're going to feel weak. And that feeling, that horrible feeling, you know that feeling too. You know it. You know it's true. Those are the two outcomes. One will cause you some short-term gratification. You'll get to sleep a little bit more. You won't have to put out during a workout. You don't have to do this tedious task. You'll get some short-term gratification, but the long-term regret will be strong, and it will inflict pain on you.
Successful people do one thing more than others: make movement. They get it done.
While most people are slacking off, relaxing, wasting their time, the winners in the world are putting in work. Studying their craft, practicing, running drills on how to perform better, putting in all those extra hours when everyone's already gone home.
And of course, you'll get tired, you'll get worn out, you'll feel exhausted and lazy and not want to work, and you'll have some really, really rough days. But when that happens, you gotta tell yourself, I will not stop. I don't care what I have to go through. I'm gonna get this done, no matter what.
You do what you know you need to do to move forward. And when you do that thing, you know you're gonna feel strong, and you're gonna feel gratified, and you're gonna feel worthy of this life. That's how you're gonna feel when you do what you're supposed to do. Remember that. Remember that the pain right now will absolutely pay off in the future. And the capitulation and the conceding defeat to weakness, that will absolutely result in the pain of regret and remorse later. You know this to be true, so don't allow it. Remember the feeling of victory that comes from doing the right thing, the hard thing. Remember that feeling, and then go get it done.
The work comes before the belief. You're gonna have to do some work, and you're gonna have to keep doing it consistently, even when you're not seeing the results, even when you feel like giving up. And eventually, results will begin to sprout as you do this. And when that happens, you're gonna build faith, build belief in what it is you're doing. You start to realize, hey, I can really do this. This is actually working. And as you work more success sprouts.
You're going to start to create something. You have no motivation, you have no drive, you have no ambition, but you're going to force it to happen anyway because that's what bad do, and that's what you are. You're going to go through day by day by day doing the work regardless of how you feel like it. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see a little bit of a result. And when you see that little bit of result, you're going to get happy. And what's going to happen in your brain is it's going to open up the possibilities for you of what you can actually achieve, because now you can clearly see that if I do the work, this result will happen. And when this result starts to happen, you get excited. And guess what comes with the excitement? The motivation.
The inches we need to become dominant in any field of life are all around us. It's in every task, every project, every mission, every day, every second. When you do the small things, how do you do them? Because if you're putting in 120% in those small tasks, I know for sure you're doing it in everything else.
It's the people who are willing to do twice as much as anyone else. Those are the people who end up winning. You go the extra mile, you push through the extra round, you do those extra reps. That's what defines if you become first or forgotten.
Champions are focused on the goal. They don't have time to be doing stuff that's not going to help them toward the goal. And so what you're focusing on throughout the course of the day, it has to change. What you're looking at, what you're reading, what you're watching, the conversations you have.
You gotta be focused entirely on your dreams, entirely on your goals. When you're great, you don't just focus on a week, you don't just focus on a month, you don't just focus on a year. You concentrate on the 24 hours that's in front of you and work as hard as possible to nail it.
You dominate in the dark, when nobody sees you, when no one knows what you're doing. Those late hours and early mornings where you're working your ass off. Nothing feels better than giving everything you have to the grind.
And a lot of people are confused as to how high drive, high success people can wake up every day and go at it. It's because they know that even if they feel bad, even if they don't feel like doing it, if they push through just a little bit, just a few more days, they're gonna see something that is gonna start to make them feel good. It's gonna give them belief, it's gonna get them motivation, and it's gonna make them feel like doing this is absolutely worth it, and not only worth it, but exciting. So if you're in this phase where it doesn't feel like it's worth it, where it doesn't feel like it's very fun, just remember, if you keep going and you do not let your feelings dictate what your actions will be, the results will always be there.
When you get to sit back and unwind after working yourself to the bone for those goals and dreams, you'll feel a sense of pride you might have never felt before. But you only ever get to that point if you get up and get to work.
The time of year, we try to make our dreams come true. But the reality of all that is sacrifice. And those dreams quickly become nightmares. But in those nightmares are where our demons lie. That's the domain in which they know
We don't want to go into all those early mornings. It wakes up all these things that we failed at. Those demons are in those nightmares. That's what keeps us from accomplishing our dreams. So this year, their back is turned to the doorway. Because they know you ain't going into nightmare land, but you're going in there. And when the backs are turned, you're going to rear naked choke them out. Every one of them. That's the mentality you must have and always have.
People want to find peace immediately. You're going to find peace from going to war with yourself.
Make a declaration to yourself. Declare all out war that you're going to get out of this rut.
We are in control of our mind. We believe it's the other way around. No, we put in our minds what we should do. We have to reprogram it and tell us, no, we're good. This sucks, but it's okay.
If you don't program yourself, life will program you. In order to begin to reinvent your life, you've got to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort. You really have got to put all of yourself into it. It's very challenging to act, to do those things. There are times when you're looking at it and you say, I know I need to do this, but I don't feel like it.
What most of us are looking for is a special feeling of, oh, I feel great this morning. I'm going to get out of bed and get a quick 5 miles in or go to the gym. You're looking for that feeling. Let me tell you one thing, ain't gonna come. You have to learn to do when you don't want to do. Learn to bring that savage mentality out of yourself. The animalistic one. You think a savage gets up about how he feels or how she feels? Then just do it. Learn to be your best self when you're least motivated. Stop looking for a feeling to control what goes on in your life.
You should quit quitting. Any path you take to get where you want to be, if that place is worthwhile to go, it's going to be hard. So quit judging your quitting based upon how hard something is, because every single path that you could possibly take to get somewhere where you want to be is going to be hard. Struggle, pain, misery, frustration, those are signs that you are on the right path and making progress. Nobody that is where you want to be has gotten there without these struggles, without the bleeding, without the pain, without the depression, without the misery. Nobody. And if you want to be something great, you are going to have to learn to accept the struggle as part of the recipe. Every single day you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And if the answer is whatever the I have to, you'll get there in time.
You're setting the example every single day of your life. You have to constantly, that machine, the machine is your mind. You gotta keep challenging it every day.
The price of regret is much heavier than the price of discipline. You never want to wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. You don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, your relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
Life is one big head game. And once you learn to play that game, it's no longer a game anymore at all. You can start living your life.
Getting successful, it's not a magic trick. You have a say-so in that. You can decide to be rich, but you first have to think it. The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. You have to change this. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're in a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone.
Never let anybody tell you that you can't.
A lot of time as a leader, a lot of time as a business builder, a lot of time as a craftsperson, we will have an idea for a business or a product where
the rest of the world says that's impossible. And we have to be coming from a place from within where our I can is larger than our I can't. You absolutely must do the interior work required when you have these fiery levels of confidence where when the world is saying, you know what, I dismiss your vision. Well, that is impossible. You have to be that lone voice who goes, no, you know what? It is possible. And just watch me do it.
I am not going to allow anything to shake me. I'm not going to allow anything to stop me. I'm not going to allow anything to stop my happiness and my growth. You got to live beyond reality. Even before you do it, see yourself doing it. Even before you accomplish it, see yourself accomplishing it. Your perception is everything, not your circumstances, not your situation. It's how you see it. And if you can learn to see it correctly, if you can learn to just get past the pain, get past the little hurt, and if you can learn to see it properly, I guarantee you can be what you want to be. You can have what you want to have. You can do what you want to do.
When you get into a tight spot and everything goes against you until it seems that you cannot hold on for a minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. There are times when your energy feels so depleted that you want to give up, that it looks just totally impossible. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, don't give up then. That's when you've got to fall forward, when life is kicking dirt in your face. Don't give up then. That's when most people turn back.
As long as you're alive, there is hope.
You're still alive. You're still here.
It's never too late, and it's never too dark, and we can always turn things around.
There's going to be bad days, there's going to be dark days, but you got to embrace it, because that pain is what makes you stronger.
Pain is the high cost of growth. If you want to grow up, you want to be mature, there is no way to do it without pain. You can't grow up on easy street. And the very thing that discourages you is the very thing that develops you.
What I need you to do is I need you to find a reason to keep going. And if you can find a reason to keep going, I know you're strong enough to do it because you're human. And every human has what it takes to get past whatever they're going through if they decide to push through it. Tragedy and trials come to everybody. Only the strong survive.
You have the opportunity to show the world what you are really made of.
And there are those of you were this close, but you compromised. You let your feelings get the best of you. And you let a little pain stop you from your dream. Girl, you was there. You was running your business. You were there. I didn't quit because people didn't understand. I worked harder when people didn't support me. You better grind, because if you don't, you will be stuck at that adversity for the rest of your life. Whatever it is, you'll be stuck there. Why don't I get something for it? You ain't got to have the best head in life. You ain't got to start with the two-parent background. You ain't got to start with wealth. You ain't got to start with your parents graduated. It's not the hand that you dealt. It's how you play your hand. When people die or people get sick or something happens in your life, if all you're doing it for is a car and a house, that can stop you. But if you're doing it for your mom, for your siblings, for your family, for your community, nothing can stop you. You cannot be broken. When you have an intrinsic goal, when you're doing it because you value it, when you're doing it because you can, when you're doing it because it represents who you are, when it's internal, nothing can stop you. No mountain, no trial, no tribulation, nothing can stop you when it's deeper than just money and stuff. I can. I will. I must. It's going to rain sometimes. I will. You're going to feel discouraged sometimes. I will. No matter what the obstacle, I will. I will. I will. I must. What's that thing that's going to pump you up and get you over that mountain? What's going to pump you up and get you past that disease? What's going to pump you up and get you past bankruptcy? What's going to pump you up and get you to the other doggone side? Despite the circumstance, you can win. Despite the adversity, you can win. I'm trying to tell you, you can win. I'm trying to tell you, I don't care how big the giant is, you can win. I want you to go in confidence that you've never had before. And every giant in your life, slay him. You go back and slay him. Don't kill him, slay him.
My glory doesn't happen in front of a crowd. It doesn't happen in a stadium or on a stage. There are no medals handed out. It happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, where I try, and I try, and I try again, with everything I have to be the best that I can possibly be, better than I was yesterday, better than people thought I could be, better than I thought I could be, then claim one victory that no one can ever take away from me, ever. A victory that is earned every single day. A victory of determination and will and discipline. A victory achieved because I will not stop.
It's the character of who you are. It's not the title that makes you. It's not the success that makes you. The character defines the success, defines the fame, and it starts right there. Championships aren't won in the theater or the arena. They're won in the thousands of hours in the training room, in the labs, in the 5 a.m. runs, and it's raining, when everyone else is sleeping. That's when it's won. How you hold yourself in the small things of life. Build the character winning blocks of the things that we'll remember for. Do the job right or don't do it at all. That's the same person who has his hand raised on the podium one day. Same motherfuckers. It's how you look at something. If your name's attached to it, that you do it right. The best of your ability every single time.
Some of y'all so caught up on the game that you don't get it. It is in practicing. It is in eating right. It is in making good decisions that you look a certain way. It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game. And that's why most of y'all get beat in the game or make mistakes in the game, because you think grinding is what happens when the sun comes out. You think grinding is what happens when the lights come on. You think grinding is what happens when people get in the stage. That's not grind. The real grind is in the dark when nobody sees you, when nobody knows what you're doing. When you studying without coach, when you putting in those extra reps, when you watching those videos and you getting inspired, when you change your music, it's the process that makes you sweet. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. If you wanted to happen, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to happen, rise and grind, because this is my time. Tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today.
It begins right now with no one looking, man. And how you hold yourself, how you see yourself. What do you do when no one's watching? If you do it then, I guarantee you, you'll be doing it when everyone's watching.
Don't let this negative world beat you down. Don't let it win. At some point, you gotta start standing up for yourself. At some point, you gotta start fighting back.
Get away from all these people who ain't doing nothing with their lives. These people are toxic. They'll attack you on your journey. They'll actively work against you. These people's opinions of you ain't none of your business. You are the only one who dictates how far you can go. The possibilities for you are unlimited. If it's building a business, starting a career, traveling the world, making a difference in society, you can do whatever you believe you can do.
He who thinks he can and he who thinks he can't are both usually right. You've got to build your level of self-confidence to a point where when they fight against your ideas, it only adds fuel to your desire to win.
Many doors will be closed in your face. Many loans that you'll want will be denied. Many jobs you apply for, they'll reject you, and most people will give up. But you've got to decide within yourself that I'm going to be fearless. I'm going to be relentless. I refuse to accept failure as my final result. And I'm gonna go all out to get it. I'm gonna give it everything I possibly have. No obstacle, no challenge, no person is gonna keep me from my dream. Don't allow the opinions of others to shut you down. When they talk, you go hard. When they doubt you, you shut them up with your results. The best revenge in life is massive success. Don't allow anyone or anything to steal your dream. If you dare to be great, if you dare to do something that you've never done before, if you dare to go to limits that you've never been to before, you'll achieve more than you could ever imagine. And when you're going through bad times, I want you to remember, you're not being buried, you're being planted. You may be underground, but you're not buried in this mess. You're planted in it. And when you're planted in it, you should expect to come back up again And when you come back up, you'll be completely transformed by the experiences that you've endured.
When you're going through pain, you're not suffering. You're building strength. You're building resilience. You're building perseverance. You're building everything it takes to win.
When you have fear, fear makes you think in a way you shouldn't be thinking and makes you do stuff you shouldn't be doing. But when you have faith, you don't need to know what you're up against. When you have faith, you don't need to know how much it's going to take. When you have faith, you just believe and it'll happen.
You concentrate on working on your dream. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity right now with all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart. You focus on this, and tomorrow will take care of itself.
You gotta believe within yourself that you are the one. You are the one to make it happen. You are the one to succeed. You are the one who will be living their dream. You gotta feel that you're entitled to this, that you're supposed to have this. This is your calling. This is your time. Now is your moment.
You gotta stand up inside yourself and tell yourself, I can do this. I can handle this. I can overcome anything that comes against me.
You're more powerful than you realize. You're stronger than you think you are. You're tougher than you think you are. You can survive more than you think you can. You can go further than you believe you can. You're more capable than you could ever possibly imagine. When you no longer focus on the obstacles, when you no longer care what people think or what people have to say, when you no longer find the need to seek their approval, when you stop counting the cost of what it's going to take to reach your dream, it is done. When the pressure within you is greater than the pressure outside of you.
What do you do when your battle chooses you? What do you do when something shows up on your doorstep that you did not directly cause, choose, or definitely anticipate?
There's problems that we go through that cause stress, worry, anxiety, and fear, but you might be in the battle of your life. I want to encourage you. It's not about what's happening around you. It's always about what's happening inside of you.
Life is hard sometimes. Easy, it's not an option. It's hard. Keeping your spirits up, getting up every day knowing and feeling that death is watching over you and say, you better sleep with one eye open because I'm waiting on you. It's hard when you're hurting. It's hard, you got bills, you got responsibilities. It's hard, but it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth giving yourself a chance. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up. You can do it. You can do it.
Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you have to be discouraged. Just because you have fear doesn't mean fear has to have you.
When you have fear, fear makes you speak in a certain way. When you have fear, but when you have faith, you don't need to count. When you have faith, you don't need to go outside. When you have faith, you don't need to see how many horses. When you have faith, you don't need to see how many armies. When you have faith, you don't need to see how many swords. When you have faith, you don't need to count no shields. When you have faith, you don't need to look at the parameter and see how many against. When you have faith, you just believe and it'll happen.
You gotta get to the point where you don't need a car anymore. You don't need a house anymore. You don't need to be pushed by anybody anymore. Your dreams, your wives gonna push you. Your spouse is gonna push you. Your child is gonna push you. The need to get better is going to push you. Because you're closer than you're ever going to be, it's gonna push you. You don't need anything to push you. Your goals are gonna push you. Your dreams are gonna push you. The opportunity of a lifetime that happens in this particular time frame is gonna push you. It's gonna drive you. It's going to make you better.
You gotta tell life, I don't know who you've been dealing with, but you ain't dealt with me. You gotta tell bankruptcy. You gotta tell divorce. You gotta tell sickness. I don't know who you've been dealing with, but you come up against the wrong one this time.
If you are willing to grind, you can start from nothing. When I talk about beast mode now, I'm talking about the ant that's very small, but that can probably lift 100 times his weight. I'm saying that some of you in this room, you might not be a lion yet. Some of you in this room, you might be an ant. You might have small beginnings. You might not have a lot of money. You might not have a lot of resources. You might be the ant, and the ant has very little, but he's determined. He's
He's strong. He has a dream and a goal, and he'll do whatever it takes. Many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope, and you got to do me a favor. Like, you can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me. If it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to start fighting back.
When the going get tough, tough get going. When you go through the valley, when you have been knocked down, when you know what it is to be destroyed, when you know what it is to be wiped out by life, no one can take that from you.
If you come from a family right now that's broke, use that to your advantage. I use that to my advantage that I was a high school dropout, that I was homeless, that I ate out of trash can. I love dealing with a dude who think because he come from money, he better than me. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? There's certain things when you privilege that mama can buy you, but you can't buy grit, and you can't buy grind, and you can't buy resilience, and you can't buy heart, and you can't buy that dog. I got this dog for being homeless. I'm getting paid now because the homelessness didn't break me.
Come on, you need to remember, this is not the first time you cried. This is not the first time you were short of breath. This is not the first time you didn't see a way clear. This is not the first time you were hurt. This is not the first time your heart was broken. This is not the first time you didn't have enough money. This is not the first diagnosis that came up from behind.
Say, I'm gonna live to tell the story. This too shall pass. I will remain. I'm not gonna quit. Every one of my burdens, there's a blessing on the inside of it. If you don't quit, you will win, baby. Just keep coming back. If you got nothing left to give, just show back up. Half of life, man, is just showing up.
I couldn't give up. Homeless, I still couldn't give up. I'm one class shy, the PhD. I can't give up. Why? Because the value, what it's worth, what I put in too much. I've given too much. I sweat too much. I've given up sleep. I've given up friendship. I've given up so much stuff that I had to get back later. Why? Because the value, I put too much in it. What's it worth to you? What does it cost? What price have you paid for it? What has it cost you? And if it costs you something, then you better not quit until you get a harvest. You better not quit till it's fully developed. You better not quit in the midst of the process. I need you to speak victory. I don't care what's going on around you. I need you to speak victory. I need you to talk victory. I don't care what your circumstances are. I don't need you to speak your reality. If you broke, you ain't got to tell the whole world you broke. I need you to speak victory. I need you to say I'm going to graduate when you can't even see it. I need you to say my book will be finished. I'm an author long before it's finished. You have to believe it when you cannot see it. You have to speak it and say it's so that it can become a reality. Because if you can speak it, if you can say it, you're going to eventually get to it.
Many of you, you're tired, or you're afraid, or you're anxious, or you're disappointed because the very thing that you've hoped for, the very thing that you have fought for has not happened, and you feel ready to give up in this moment.
It's lonely. You will be laughed at. People will call you crazy. You will be misunderstood.
It's going to get rough. It's going to be very challenging. Whenever you decide that you want to grow, whenever you decide that you want to go to another level, all will break loose. That goes with it. That goes with the territory. That when you want to grow, when you want to achieve, when you want to experience more, everything that can happen will happen.
In the middle of all that chaos, you got to remember that it's those low moments that will define who you really are.
The true character of a person is shown when your back is up against the wall. These are the moments that separate the successful from everybody else.
You know what you gotta do to get to paradise? You gotta fight like to get paradise. Paradise starts. So the ones that can fight, the ones that come back, those are the ones that succeed.
See, whenever you decide you want to go to another level, you've got to fasten your psychological, your mental, and your spiritual seatbelt, because you're going to experience some turbulence when you're going up. And some of you are already experiencing that turbulence. Don't be frightened by that. You've got to go through this phase here. This is how you grow. This is how you develop. See, life is like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they don't go well. But in the down moments, that's when you discover who you are. In this prosperous time, you put it in your pocket. In the lean times, you put it in your heart.
This is necessary for you to get where you want to go. And if you quit, if you falter, if you stop, all of the pain
will be for nothing.
You cannot get to success without suffering, sweating, sacrificing, staying locked in, and fighting your way through tears and trials and tests. But many of you think that greatness goes on sale, but true quality never goes on sale. It costs what it costs, and you gotta pay the price.
There are no discounts to success. Only grind, only perseverance, only sweat, blood, and tears. It ain't no shame in thinking about quit. It ain't no shame in getting tired. But the trick is, don't let that thought become a reality. Say to yourself, I gotta rethink it and get this thought out of my mind. Why? Because the shame is in quitting.
And I'm telling you, I know you're in a storm, and I know it hurts, and I know you don't want to take it anymore. The ship is being overthrown with water right now. Your family seems like it's drowning at this moment. Your dreams look like you're seeing them from underwater. Whatever storm you found yourself in today, don't give up. You have not seen the best days of your life yet.
As you step into it, awkward and uncomfortable, as you move toward it, as you keep moving toward it, as you keep believing, keep trusting, keep coming, keep digging, keep going, keep flowing, keep showing up.
Just keep holding on with everything floating around you. Keep holding on to the peace that you got.
See, there's some people in this room right now that you need to hear this loud and clear. You need to get this in your spirit, because I don't know what you're walking through, but some of you right now, you are in a tough season. An event has happened, and something's happened, and maybe you have failed. But I want to remind you that failure is not final, it's formative. It is part of the process. It's part of the journey. Your failure matters as much as your success. How do you think you're going to grow if you don't ever fail? Yet some of you have failed, and you have decided, well, guess what? I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is never a person. Failure is actually fuel for your future. The way that you grow, the way that you advance. You have to fail in order to succeed.
If you do not give up, if you fight back, you can beat it. I know you have that warrior inside. And now I just need you to activate it. This thing will not be two. You might be one phone call away. You might be one opportunity away. You might be 1 second away from your entire life blowing up. You will never ever know if this was your moment, if this was your destiny, if this was your time if you quit. So don't you ever give up on me. You keep fighting and you keep striving.
I don't care what it is. I don't care how many times you've had to cry yourself to sleep. I don't care how difficult it is. Don't you dare give up now, because whatever is over you defines you, and whatever defines you limits you. You better put some strength in your back, plant your feet, square your shoulders, and stand up to it.
Stand when it's uncertain. Stand when it doesn't feel good. Stand when it's controversial. Stand when it doesn't seem to be happening. Stand on what you know when you can't trust what you see.
Don't you dare sit down. Don't you dare crumble under the weight of it. Don't you dare give in because of the nature of it. Don't you dare go home and raise the white flag of surrender. This is not your season to die. This is not your season to quit. There's joy, there's peace, there's breakthrough, but you'll never see it if you don't stand up to it.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown.
Are you willing to get your teeth kicked out for your dream? That's why many are called, but few are chosen. Because everybody won't get the beat down. Everybody's not willing to face rejection. Everybody will not talk to 4 people and visualize 5,000. Everybody won't take the controversy. Everybody won't take the heat. Everybody won't hold themselves to a higher standard.
As soon as you write your dream down, somebody about to bust you in your mouth. Whatever it is that thing you say you want to do, they coming at you. The reason why you do what you do is more critical than what you do. Because if your reasoning is weak, you're not going to get it done. Why? Because life is going to beat you upside your head. Life will strip you to the core. Once your balls start tripping, you about to start crying. Once life hits you with a punch or two, you ready to quit. Phenomenally skilled is cute, but it is a phenomenal will that says every time I get knocked down, I will get back up and I will succeed. I will not surrender.
But if you weak, you will be broke. And I'm not here because I'm the best. I'm here because they tried to break me and they couldn't.
Think about your community. Think about your kids. Think about the obstacles and the problems, the so-called problems in your community. Think about them. Osborne said, in life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. We can't judge according to appearances. We must look at the poverty and the despair and the pain and the stress, and in the midst of that, we see prosperity. We see peace. We see possibility.
I'm telling you to dream your dream because I want you to feel it. I want you to taste it. I want you, just like when the weather is changing, you can feel it. I want you to be able to feel when you're getting closer to it and closer to it. If you are still alive, there's still room for growth. There's still room for improvement. You can still get bigger. You can still get better. You can still be bolder. There's still room to grow and be better.
Get out of your head and into your greatness. You can't stroll to your goals. You keep being casual, you will end up a casualty. Death is not the greatest tragedy of our time. The greatest tragedy is what dies inside of us while we're still alive. Not trusting your gift is sinful because by God it was put in you. I don't know what you've been through, but trust your heart, it will defend you.
You need to use your tongue to validate your gift and look yourself in the mirror and encourage yourself as to how I'm still gifted. I've been through some pain, but I'm still gifted. I've buried some loved ones, but I'm still gifted. I've had some setbacks, but I'm still gifted.
Despite the circumstance, you can win. Despite the giants, you can win. Despite the adversity, you can win. Despite the obstacles, you can win. Despite the situation, you can win. Despite how much money you got in your bank, you can win. You can pull it off.
Why do you do what you do? Why is that important, Les? Because when the storms of life come, and they're going to come, when life pounces on you, and that's going to happen, when it catches you on the blind side and drop you to your knees, and that's going to happen, when people don't come through for you and don't keep their words and don't support you or actively work against you, and that's going to happen, when you want to give up, and that's going to happen, your reasons will be your bridge over troubled waters. You got to know why you're out here, because you're going to get your butt kicked. But you gotta know why you're there, because your reasons, when life drops you to your knees, your reasons will help you get back up. What are the reasons? Write down why you're here. Write down 5 compelling reasons of why you're gonna keep your commitment to change your life. Keep your commitment never to go back to the life that you once lived. Keep your commitment to creating wealth for yourself, to taking care of your children, to be more responsible. Keep your commitment to live a life of contribution, to keep your commitment to be a conqueror, and to act like it, and to have authority and dominion of everything in your life. What are those reasons? If life knocked you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Your reasons will help you to get back up again.
What's that thing that's gonna pump you up and get you over that hill? What's gonna pump you up and get you over that mountain? What's gonna pump you up and get you past that disease? What's gonna pump you up and get you past bankruptcy? What's gonna pump you up and get you past that crazy credit score you got? What's gonna pump you up and get you to the other doggone side?
I'm talking about hope. You gotta be able to see it when it cannot be seen. You gotta see it in your mind's eye. You have to see it happening. You have to see yourself writing the book before the book is finished. You gotta see it. You have to see yourself graduating even though the teachers are telling you that it's not going to happen. Even though you got the letter saying you getting kicked out of school, that you're on academic probation, that you're dismissed. Hope, you have to believe in the unseen. Because if you can't believe in it, you will never manifest it. But when you believe in it, you demand the universe to assist you in what you're doing. And if you can see it before everybody else can see it, then it's going to eventually come to you.
Life, at times, throws at us battles we never enlisted for. Battles that arrive unannounced, unchosen, and certainly unanticipated. These times, that test your limits. Will this pain make you or break you?
Life is not always easy. In fact, some of you today, you're hearing this and you're going through the toughest season of your life. There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain.
You're going to want to feel like falling apart. You're going to want to just lay down and at times.
And the question is, how will you respond in those moments? This choice is what will determine the rest of your life.
You're not gonna see any way out of this misery. But if you can hold on to hope that this thing you're facing will pass, you can find a way through it.
It might not look like it right now, but you can get through it. You might not have the solution figured out yet, but you can get through it. You might not see any light at the end of the tunnel at this moment, but you can get through it.
You're tougher than you think you are. You can go through more than you think you can. Think about all you've been through already. Every single one of those problems you faced, you made it through. You made it to this moment right now.
And whatever's in front of you won't destroy you. It may hurt, it may be painful, it may test you harder than anything else has, but you have what it takes to make it through.
And when you're going through all that, I want you to remind yourself that it is worth it. It's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth pumping yourself up and talking to yourself positively. It is worth the effort. Because when you get to the other side, there's gonna be so much more for you.
And there's gonna be a greater version of yourself that you didn't even know existed because you went through that.
The person you become in this process of fighting for your life, for your family, for your loved ones, for your dreams is greater than you could imagine. These tragedies and trials are what build you up. Every time you face rejection or encounter pain and keep fighting forward, you become stronger.
And it's not about what's happening around you, it's about what's happening inside of you. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you have to be afraid. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you have to be discouraged. Just because you have fear doesn't mean fear has to have you.
The sentence out of your mouth is the story that you are putting out into the universe. I'm not gonna make it. I quit. This is too hard. Business is never coming back. We've lost too many people. I've made too many mistakes. I'm a failure. Nobody can help me. I've done too many bad things.
I don't know what's coming out of your mouth, but if it's anything like that, it's killing you. And as you continue to say those things, as you continue to declare it, don't be surprised when it becomes true in your life.
You have to make sure that whenever you feel those negative instincts, you have to consciously catch yourself thinking that and replace it in your mind with a positive thought. You start fighting back against your mind. No, I can make it. No, I'm not done yet. I can handle this. I can do this. And in the end, I'm gonna win.
The greats of the world, they get to it and then go through it. They don't stop at difficulties. And the harder it is, the better, because the payoff will be just that much sweeter.
The battles you face are indicators of the blessings that await you. If you're facing opposition, it means you're building something worthwhile. People do not challenge those who are not creating progress.
You're tired. Your mind is urging you to quit, but you cannot. You've come too far. You've invested too much to give up now. Don't let the pain break you. Let it redefine you.
Your pain is not permanent. Whatever you're dealing with now will not be a problem forever, as long as you keep moving and keep making progress. You are bigger than your problems. They're not tougher than you. You can get through them.
If you lose your job, if you go through a divorce, if you're coming back from addiction, if you're coming back from failure after failure after failure, and disappointment after disappointment after disappointment, you must know within yourself, there must be a deep inner knowing of your true identity. You gotta know you are a winner. You were born to win. It is your right to win. It is your right to have your dream. You don't get these ideas unless you also have the capacity to make it happen.
You need to remember, this is not the first time you cried. This is not the first time you were short of breath. This is not the first time you didn't see a way clear. This is not the first time you were hurt. This is not the first time your heart was broken. This is not the first time you didn't have enough money. This is not the first diagnosis that came up from behind.
And you gotta declare to yourself and the world, I'm gonna live to tell the story. This too shall pass, and I will remain. I'm not gonna quit. Every one of my burdens, there's a blessing on the inside of it.
Just keep coming back. No matter what happens, no matter how dark it gets, no matter what you lose along the way, just keep showing up. If you got nothing left to give, just show back up. Half of life is just showing up.
And I'm telling you right now, don't give up. I'm telling you right now, don't give in. Get through it. And if you can get through it, if you can work through your pain, I'm guaranteeing you, on the other side is a reward.
You have been disappointed over and over and over again. And every time you try, you come up short. Sickness is cyclical. It comes around, it goes around. You're well for a little while, and then it's the same thing all over again, but this time it's only worse. Because now, not only are you back where you started, but you have less hope that it is ever going to be different, because you've cycled through it one more time just to realize, well, I guess I'm just a cynical person. Well, I guess I'm just a negative person. Sickness becomes normal to you, and it starts to be easier for you to just accept the condition than to challenge it. Because to challenge the condition means to risk disappointment. And some of us have tried, got blocked. Tried, got blocked. Tried, got blocked. And now people see you and they assume that you don't care. No, I care. I cared, and I cared so much, but they didn't care back. And I tried so hard and I still got looked over. And don't you know it's hard when your expectation has been damaged by disappointment? It's a slow damage. It's a slow tearing of the muscle fibers. It's a slow deterioration of your hope by disappointment. It is not one event that creates it. It's over and over. I tried and I tried and I smiled and I stayed and I disciplined and I showed up and I didn't care. And the man has finally gotten to a place where he is tired of trying.
See, life is rough, ladies and gentlemen. It's rough. Things that's going to happen to you in life, ladies and gentlemen, make it okay. I can change how I respond to it. I can become upset, nervous, tense about it, weak about it, or I can say, it's okay. Don't go through life feeling like you're powerless. Victims are people that are powerless. You're not powerless. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. It's a result of how you have decided to use your power. That's all it is. That's not who you are. That's just a perverted use of your power that you aren't satisfied with. And you've got the power to change that. But you don't know what has happened to me. It really doesn't matter what has happened to you. See, the only thing that really matters is what are you going to do about it? That's all that matters. That no matter what you do to me, how cold and callous you are to me, lack of sensitivity, how cruel you might be to me, you're not going to change me.
It's the obstacles in our life. It's the hardships. It's the mountains that we climb that make life worth living. But the mountain's not supposed to stop you. Your mountain has the materials for your miracle.
Your conditions are not always in your control. You don't always get to decide what kind of skies you face. There are some things that are outside of your control, but your courage is in your control.
Take that leap of faith. Trust yourself and know within yourself that everything is going to be all right.
There is something that I learned through what I went through that made me who I am. There's a purpose for it. I'm not a hostage.
You have to make a decision that every experience is my education. And I'm gonna discover the opportunity for me to grow and for me to get better. I'm telling you, I've already made up my mind that I know I will fall down. I know that I will stumble, but I already see myself getting back up. Therefore, I'm never down. I'm either up or getting back up. I will learn from this thing.
The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. People know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
You have a chance every day of your life to decide who you're gonna be. Are you gonna be a winner or a loser? Are you gonna continue to live like everyone else? Do what everyone else does? Go where everyone else goes? And never go out of your comfort zone? Or are you gonna decide, I'm gonna become more?
I'm gonna see what I can become if I really push myself. I'm gonna decide to stop eating like I'm gonna get focused on my goals for the year. And I'm not gonna let anybody get in the way of these things I want. You can decide to stop being average and ordinary. It only takes willpower and a full commitment to changing things for yourself. You can do it.
In order to have unbelievable options and choices in your life in your pursuit of your dream, you must eliminate them. You must shrink your focus down to one thing, one business, one focus at one time and master it and get great at it for an extended period of time.
The irony of life is that the more you shrink your options in pursuit of your dream, the more it will open them up in your life later.
What are the things that are stealing your focus? Who are the people that are stealing your focus? You need to begin to eliminate these distractions. Get laser focused and obsessed on what you want. Be starving and hungry to get it. Be desperate to get it. The combination of desperation and hunger with laser focus over an extended period of time is the formula to be great at something.
You've got to be ruthless about it. Be a savage about your dreams. If something isn't helping you grow, if it's not adding value to your journey, then it's dead weight. Drop it.
That includes negative people, bad habits, time-wasting activities, all that. You don't have time for it. Not this year. This year is about get done, about making your dreams reality.
What's the immediate first massive action you're gonna take? The very first step, it might be unplugging the TV, removing that app, throwing out the junk food, cutting out a certain person from your life. I don't know what it is, but whatever that thing is that's taking so much of your time and attention and is not improving your life, you gotta get rid of it.
So get your head in the game. Turn off the distractions, the social media, the endless scrolling, the binge watching. That's not gonna get you anywhere in life. You've gotta make sacrifices, put in the work, grind every day. It's time to become relentless. It's time to become unstoppable. Be the savage you were born to be. And go out there and take what's yours.
You're gonna have to lose something. Where you're trying to go, you might have to give up some friends. You might have to give up some opportunities. You might have to give up some stuff in order to go from good to great.
You need to develop a single-minded obsession with your goals. Eat, sleep, breathe your dreams. Every action, every thought should be aligned with getting you closer to where you want to be. It's about discipline, about pushing yourself even when you don't feel like it. It's about waking up every day starving for success, ready to tackle whatever comes your way.
And yeah, it's gonna be hard. People will talk, they'll question you, they'll doubt you constantly. But guess what? That's their problem, not yours. Your job is to stay focused, keep your eyes on the prize. Remember, you're doing this for you, not for their approval. You're building a life you can be proud of. A life where you don't have to answer to anyone but yourself.
And everybody talks that talk. Everybody talks about going to the next level. Everybody talks about changing their lives in the new year. Everybody says that this year is their year to become better until it's time to actually do the work. And when it's time to do the work, nobody wants to do it. They don't want to pay that price.
But let me tell you, the price you pay for working on your dreams when everyone else is having fun or slacking off and you're out there working hard, making moves on your goals, will pale in comparison to the price you'd pay if you decide to do what everyone else does.
You gotta be willing to pay that price of discipline up front and deal with that hard head on. It's gonna suck. And that's what's gonna make you great. Do those things that suck every single day of your life. That's how you become better.
If you're gonna get your goal, you might have to get up a little earlier. You might have to stay at work a little longer. You might have to do a little bit more than what everyone else is doing. Because those little bits of extra effort you put in is what will add up to be a monumental difference between where you've been and where you will be in the future. Enjoying more success, more money, more happiness.
And the only way you prove to yourself that you really want it is that you no longer hit the snooze button. You no longer lose focus when you're studying. You no longer take shortcuts. You're no longer playing games. You are willing to do whatever it takes, and you won't stop at anything until you get it.
One day you're gonna look back on your life and you're gonna wonder, what if? What if you really had focused harder on your dream? What if you had really disciplined yourself to make those hard decisions you didn't want to make but knew you should? Right now, you have an opportunity to get rid of those what ifs. You have the chance right now to stay focused on those things that really matter in your life and make your dreams become your reality.
Raise your standards. Your standards are the things that determine the quality of the life you're living right now. As human beings, we usually end up falling to the level of our standards.
For most people, being broke is the standard. You'll accept just getting by, just having enough, doing the bare minimum in their job.
But for some people out there, the rare individuals, their standards are to excel, to go beyond what is expected of them, to have more than enough, to not just serve those they care about, but to amaze them.
In order to get to that level, you have got to start expecting more from yourself. Stop letting yourself off the hook so easily. You know you can do more. You know you can be more. You know you have more fight in you.
So, you have got to start pushing yourself to strive for not just completion, but perfection. Doing things to the very best of your ability. Doing things better than anyone else is willing to.
You get to a point where you don't care how many hours it takes, how much effort it requires. You just do what you know you need to do in order to create results that will make your life better in the long run.
If you think you're just gonna dream big and wake up to everything being perfect, you're wrong. Life's gonna knock you down again and again. It's gonna test your dreams, pushing you to see if you've really got what it takes. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna strip you to your core, but it isn't meant to break you. These trials are there to show what you're made of, to push out the real you. It's there to push the greatness that's on the inside of you out.
You need to be sick and tired of feeling like a loser, and you gotta start acting like a winner. A winner doesn't slack off. A winner doesn't do the bare minimum. A winner does whatever it takes to win, no matter the cost.
Those winners in life embrace challenges. They don't shy away from tough situations. They see them as opportunities to grow stronger. Where others see obstacles, winners see stepping stones to victory. They tackle problems head on without any hesitation because they know that overcoming challenges is what makes them better.
I want you to control what you think about and fill your mind with positive thoughts. If you don't choose what to think about, life will choose for you. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself and believe that you are more than capable. You were meant to do this.
Start planning for what you want because you expect to achieve it. You expect to win. You expect to create a life of greatness for yourself.
If you want to achieve your goals and make your dreams come true, don't do it half-heartedly. You got to go all in. You got to put in more effort and energy than ever before.
You need to wake up and realize the amount of effort you're leaving on the table and all the possibilities you have right now to become more. You can do, be, and have so much more than you do right now, but you got to see that for yourself, because until you do, you're not going to change anything.
I want you to go find out what your life could look like if you stopped paying attention to the cost of every action you're making and started paying attention to the possibilities for working harder. What would your life be like if you started to force yourself to work more hours, to study harder, to do more reps? Question yourself on this, and then go do everything in your power to go find out.
you'll like your life. Change it. You got the power to change the dynamics of your life. You don't have to just take it. Just like whatever it is. No, do not accept that. If you always do what you've always done, you're gonna always be where you've always been. Disruption is having the courage to break out of the box. Break out of the box of normalcy. Break out of the box of complacency. Break out of the box of your comfort. Success is not a comfortable procedure. You gotta become comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you ever wanna be successful, you can't have a new life until you have the courage to disrupt your old life. As long as you won't disrupt what you told yourself you deserve in this world, you will never have an opportunity to walk into what is possible for you.
You gotta start with small steps. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So work on the immediate steps you can take right now today to move yourself forward. Forget about tomorrow. Forget about what happened yesterday. What are you gonna do today to positively create momentum in the direction you want to head?
You need to be patient and engage in consistent action. Big changes don't happen overnight. Your dreams and dream life is like planting a garden. You plant the seeds, water them, and wait. It takes a lot of time and consistently caring for them and nurturing them for it to grow. So you gotta keep feeding your dreams, putting in the daily efforts to step toward them. Slowly but surely, your efforts will pay off in the long run, but you have to give it time and attention.
Each little change you make in your life adds up and starts to make your life different. When you do this, you're planting seeds of opportunity, and with time and care, they'll grow into pivotal life experiences that will change you as a person and increase your abilities.
Your belief in what you're doing, the effort you're putting in, the dream you're chasing, the belief you have for that vision of your future has to be so strong that it blocks out everyone else's disbelief. You get to the point where anyone else's opinions or judgments on what you're doing bounces right off you and has no effect on the moves you're making.
They keep talking and you keep working. They gossip and make jokes and you keep working. They keep focusing on everything and everyone else and you keep working. And years from now, they'll look over at you and your life and realize that they have nothing left to talk shit about. Because while they were focused on tearing other people down, people like you were focused on building something great of your own.
When your life gets hard, you gotta decide to stand up for yourself. Fight back. Don't let bad thoughts or what others say stop you. Tell yourself you can do it. You can handle it. You're gonna get through it, and nothing small will stop you.
The key is to keep your focus inward. Work on improving yourself, chasing your dreams, and building your future. Let your success and your achievements be your response to their disbelief and negativity. Remember, true winners focus on their own lane, building their path to greatness, undeterred by the distractions around them.
And you have to remember, everyone makes mistakes when trying new things. Mistakes are okay. They're how you learn, how you develop. What's important is that you keep going, keep trying, and don't ever give up. You'll fall flat on your face so many times. People will laugh at you. They'll make fun of you. But as long as you keep trying and keep getting back up and going at it, you'll be the last one laughing, because you will make more progress than those other people ever will. Every time you try something different and go at it again, you're one step closer to the life you want.
So you gotta go for it. Dare to disrupt your old ways. Believe in yourself and the amazing things you know you can do if you really tried your hardest.
Life happens. Things happen out of your control. Now you can either respond to that in the way you should, or you can let that mess you up. It's not what happens to you in life that determines your future. It's how you respond to what happens to you that determines your future.
I fail over and over and over again in my life. And that's why I succeed. You get to make a choice. Is failure going to break you, or is failure going to make you? You get to decide. Failure doesn't. You're not finished. If you're alive, you're not finished. No, you got another gear in you. So everybody, I can because I'm capable. I will because I'm strong. I must because they count on me.
It's going to take everything in you that your life deserves the concentrated effort to begin to look at how is it that I can express more of me? How is it that I can bring my ideas out here now? Don't allow that inner doubt in you to talk you out of it, to build a case on why you can't have it, to tell you why you're not good enough. You ignore that inner voice and all of the external voices. Don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. Don't determine what you're able to do based upon your resources. Don't determine what's possible for you based upon where your life is right now. Where your life is right now is not you. That's just what it is right now. If you're coming back from adversity and devastation, it's unlimited of what you can do. When you're uncommon, get ready for the criticism. When you're uncommon, get ready for the opposition. When you're uncommon, get ready for the common people not to understand you. When you're uncommon, have uncommon ways. Get ready for people to try and block you and conspire against you.
That person who was your hater, they thought they defeated you. That person who told you you'll never amount to anything, they thought they defeated you.
Use them for fuel. Use them for energy. Put them on the mental Rolodex in your mind. And when you don't want to do, roll through your brain. Pull up that you need. That person who said you couldn't do something. Use it for energy. Instead of killing them with kindness, torch them with success.
Oh, you're being unrealistic. You're dreaming. Yes, I am dreaming. So a lot of people have stopped dreaming. Don't you stop dreaming. You are powerful. You direct the power in your life. Whatever your life is right now, it is a duplication of your consciousness. It's a result of how you have decided to use your power. And you've got the power to change that. But you don't know what has happened to me. It really doesn't matter what has happened to you. The only thing that really matters is what are you going to do about it? I can become upset, nervous, weak about it, or I can say, it's okay. Make it okay. If it becomes hard, then do it hard. But many of us just stop dead in our tracks. I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. You've got genius in you. Challenge yourself. Push yourself. Make yourself come up with something. See, the universe responds to the man or woman that refuses to be denied, because that is your commitment. That business that you want, that book you want to write, that dream that you have of controlling your destiny, that is yours. That's available to you. But you've got to be willing to stand there and face disappointment, not have support, be lonely, doubt yourself sometimes, be rejected again and again and again, and refuse to turn around until life gives it up. Nothing can resist a person that has that kind of commitment.